To ask about the word woke might be, why in such a short time has it gone from a rallying cry to a pejorative? If the word only made you think of rational, deserved causes like teaching a less whitewashed version of American history, AOC would still want to own it. But it's a joke because it makes you think of people who wake up offended and take orders from Twitter, and their oversensitivity has grown tiresome.
Bill Maher unleashed a blistering critique of the Democratic Party for failing to confront the woke faction that has dominated its agenda over the past decade. He argued that since this radical wing played a major role in last year's election loss, the DNC should have distanced itself by now. Instead, the party continues pandering to the fringe left, sinking itself even deeper into political irrelevance. Maher's takedown was so precise and cutting, it sent shockwaves through the DNC. Let's dive in.
Anyone bragging about being a liberal. There's no liberal Bob Schmohawk as a liberal who wants to enact more liberal policies. Democrats might want to think about what that means, because the implication is you're embarrassed by what liberalism has become, that the term is now irredeemably coupled with woke nonsense, which is a shame, because despite their nonsense, it's still generally a better product. But what does it say about your brand if you don't want to say what you are?
Maher torched the DNC for what he called their chronic embarrassment over their own identity. He argued that Democrats act almost ashamed of their political heritage, constantly apologizing for their past instead of owning it. Meanwhile, Republicans embrace their roots without hesitation. They're proud to call themselves conservatives and never miss a chance to say it loud and clear. Whether you agree with them or not, the GOP stands by its values with confidence. The DNC, by contrast, seems trapped in perpetual self-doubt, trying to please everyone while forgetting who they are. Maher's point couldn't be clearer. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And in today's polarized political arena, a party that hides behind constant shame will always lose to one that wears its convictions like armor.
Liberal politics nowadays is identity politics, and yet it seems we found the one thing liberals won't identify as: liberal.
Let me pause here, because this part is absolutely true. Today's liberals seem eager to identify with any marginalized group, no matter how fringe or obscure, as long as it helps signal moral superiority. They'll defend every trendy ideology that pops up on social media, no matter how hollow, contradictory, or absurd it may be. But when it comes to defending liberalism itself, they go silent. It's as if they're afraid of their own philosophy, terrified of being labeled intolerant, insensitive, or out of touch. Instead of standing firm on core principles like free speech, open debate, and individual liberty, the actual foundations of liberal thought, they've allowed themselves to become prisoners of political correctness. Maher's criticism hits hard because it's true. Modern liberals don't debate anymore. They cancel. They conform.
Knew how to win. And he blamed the Democratic losses this November 2nd on stupid wokeness, to which AOC fired back that wokeness is a term almost exclusively used by older people these days. So that should tell you all you need to know. What? This is a term folks like you brought out very recently and had been proudly displaying at every march since. Just last year, The Guardian declared woke the word of our era. I guess they didn't get the memo from the Mean Girls Club. We don't use that emoji anymore. Woke, please. We say fetch now.
This is fascinating. The woke crowd is now sprinting away from the very term they once championed. Just a couple of years ago, they couldn't stop shouting it from the rooftops, proudly calling themselves woke as if it were a badge of moral superiority. Social media was flooded with hashtags, lectures, and self-congratulations about being more aware, more evolved, and more compassionate than everyone else. But now suddenly, they're quietly distancing themselves, pretending the word was misused, misunderstood, or never really theirs to begin with. It's amazing how quickly a movement will abandon its own label the moment it becomes inconvenient. The same crowd that once weaponized the term to shame everyone else is now scrambling for cover as it backfires spectacularly. Maher's point hits perfectly. If your beliefs can't even survive your own slogans, then the problem isn't the word, it's the ideology behind it.
Never missing an opportunity to remind voters how lame and clueless and hopelessly uncool they are, especially since those are the ones who actually vote. But okay, fine. What word would you like us to use for the plainly insane excesses of the left that are not liberalism, but something completely different? Because you can't have that word liberal from us and think it should cover things like canceling Lincoln and teaching third graders they're oppressors. That's all your new thing.
It's almost poetic that the woke crowd now finds the word woke offensive and is desperately running from it. But here's the twist. They're not abandoning the ideology. They're just repackaging it. The same worldview that claims men can be women, men can get pregnant, and that hiring should be based on skin color instead of merit is still alive and well. They've simply scrubbed off the label and slapped on a new one, hoping no one pays attention. But let's be clear, the mindset hasn't changed. It's still anti-common sense, anti-reality, and completely disconnected from the concerns of everyday Americans. The woke crowd may have ditched the name, but not the nonsense behind it, as Maher would put it. Changing the label doesn't fix the problem. It just makes the hypocrisy easier to hide.
The question to ask about the word woke might be, why in such a short time has it gone from a rallying cry to a pejorative? If the word only made you think of rational, deserved causes like teaching a less whitewashed version of American history, AOC would still want to own it. But it's a joke, because it makes you think of people who wake up offended and take orders from Twitter, and their oversensitivity has grown tiresome.
The woke crowd, beyond their anti-common sense ideology, seems to operate in a perpetual state of outrage. Nothing ever satisfies them. If the present doesn't offer something to be offended by, they'll dig through centuries of history to find it. A quote, a statue, a painting, anything that can spark their next moral crusade. Victimhood has practically become a full-time job, and when they do find something that triggers their fragile sensibilities, they don't just criticize it, they cancel it. Great historical figures, artists, and thinkers are being erased because their views don't match 21st century Twitter standards. Maher is absolutely right to mock this hysteria. It's not progress. It's regression that a society that keeps rewriting history just to avoid discomfort isn't becoming enlightened. It's becoming fragile. And that fragility, Maher warns, is exactly what's eating away at the Democratic Party from the inside.
To have AOC on this show. There's so much to admire there. I was one of her first supporters for the Green New Deal idea. But that will probably never happen, because Democrats don't go anywhere these days where they're not pre-adored. And that's my last bit of advice to them. Go where the amen corner isn't. Do Fox News. Be brave. Come here. Go everywhere. Winning is about expanding the election.
I seriously doubt Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would ever agree to an interview where her views are genuinely challenged. Let's be honest. She gravitates toward interviewers who toss her softball questions and give her endless runway to bash Republicans and Donald Trump. Anything beyond that, and suddenly she's too busy or selective about her media appearances, though she embodies a major problem within the modern Democratic Party, a culture of political comfort zones. The DNC sticks to networks that already agree with them, building a safe echo chamber where tough questions never surface and real accountability is never demanded. Maher's frustration with this mindset is completely justified. A movement that can't defend its ideas outside its own bubble isn't showing confidence, it's showing fear. And today, fear, not conviction, is driving far too much of the Democratic conversation.
1 year from now, we'll be licking their wounds and asking themselves how they could have lost the midterms so badly. Must instead ask themselves that question now. Now. You know, now. Like, while there's still time to do something about it.
And I completely agree. Nearly a year after their election loss, Democrats are still struggling to regain traction in the polls. Despite all the media spin and political theater, they haven't convinced voters that they're capable of handling the country's biggest challenges. Meanwhile, Trump continues to dominate the national conversation on the issues that matter most: the border, the economy, national security, and America's position on the world stage. Say what you want about his personality, but Trump has an instinctive understanding of what resonates with everyday Americans. His overall popularity might rise and fall, but his command over the issues that drive national concern remains solid.
Klobuchar was here, and when I suggested the Democrats need a messaging czar, she offered me the job. Well, you need a messaging czar in your party.
And do you think it should be you?
Amy, I'm flattered. But after careful consideration, I must decline. The hours it would take me away from home would make it very difficult on my family. But I will tonight, once again, break out my coach hat and try to point the Democrats in the right direction. That's all I can do.
Maher's absolutely right. The DNC desperately needs a messaging czar because their communication strategy is a complete disaster. No one can even recall what Kamala Harris's core message was during the 2024 run-up. It was scattered, inconsistent, and obsessively aimed at appeasing the fringe left instead of speaking to mainstream America. The party seemed more focused on virtue signaling than offering real, relatable solutions to real problems. What they need now is someone who can restore clarity, coherence, and conviction to their message. Someone who can translate complex policy ideas into language that resonates with working families, middle America, and independent voters. Because until Democrats learn how to genuinely connect with ordinary people, no amount of hashtags, slogans, or celebrity endorsements will save them. In politics, if your message doesn't land, nothing else matters. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.